meeting is being recorded.
Okay. So here, right, if you take a look at the board here, so our customer will actually give you a spreadsheet. Okay, I am going to give you a Excel sheet. So the Excel sheet will contains a lot of records. The Excel sheet will contain a lot of records. So those records you need to import it into ServiceNow platform. That means I am going to give you some incident records. I am going to give you some problem records. I am going to give you some change requests. All the change requests that I am actually giving should be there in incident table. Should be there in incident table is what customer will ask you. So customer will actually give you an Excel sheet. The Excel sheet will contain number of problem records. Okay, let us say 10 problem records customer will give you. So when you import that Excel sheet into ServiceNow, all the details should be stored in problem table. So first guys, whenever customer gives you a sheet, you will actually import into ServiceNow. You will actually import it into ServiceNow. So when you import it, first the data will get stored in the staging table. First the data will get stored into the staging table. So from the staging table, you will run the transform map. Once you run the transform map, you will do the validations using transform map. After that, you will actually move it into the target table. Okay. So customer will actually give you a list of problem records. So you will actually import that Excel sheet into the ServiceNow. When you import the Excel sheet into ServiceNow, first it will be stored in staging table. First it will be stored in staging table. From the staging table, you will run the transform map. You will run the transform map. From the staging table, you will actually run the transform map. Once the transform map is run, the data will get stored into the target table. Okay. So whenever you load the sheet into ServiceNow, the data will get stored in the staging table first. From the staging table, you will run the transform map. From that, so after running the transform map, the data will get stored into this database. So guys, always remember, whenever you are actually getting the data from the external sources like Excel sheet, database, Argil, MySQL, or MySQL, or there will be other databases as well, right? If you are getting data from the external sources into ServiceNow platform, we don't allow them to create a record directly on target table. Okay, we don't directly allow them to create a record on target table. Okay, so whenever you load the sheet, right, so the data will be first stored in the staging table. From the staging table, the transform map will be run, and then the data will get stored into the target table. So the reason why we don't allow directly creating records on target table is that, so we need to check whether the data is coming from the external sources into ServiceNow is actually valid or not. So if that is not valid, we will have to stop the record processing, data processing here. So that is why first we will actually place it in the staging table. From the staging table, we will run the transform map. So after running the transform map, we will actually validate the data. If the data validation is successful and everything is well, then we will actually move it to target table. Hope this makes sense to you guys. Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now what am I going to do is I'm going to problem table here. So how many records are there? 38 records are there. So what am I doing is I am actually removing this created updated. Okay. So what am I doing is I'm actually exporting this in an Excel sheet. So I have actually downloaded problem records. So I am deleting these 20 records, guys. Consider customer has given this sheet. Okay. Okay. Customer has given this sheet. Customer asked you to load those 20 records in this problem table. Okay. So customer has asked you to load the 20 records in this problem table. Okay. Here first to load the Excel sheet into ServiceNow platform, first you need to go to load data. Load data. Okay. Under system import sets, you will go to load data. In the load data, you will actually create a staging table. You will create a staging table. So temporary problem. So here I have told you, right, first the data will get stored in this staging table. So the table I am actually creating here now. So temporary problem table I am actually creating now. So why do we call this as temporary table? The data that you are actually importing, right, that will be stored in this temporary table first, and then the transform app will be run. The data will be shared to target table. So here, right, in the temporary table, the data will be deleted for every 1 week. Data will be temporary in the temporary table. Data will be cleaned for every 1 week. Okay. So first I am actually creating a record in the temporary table. From the temporary table, I will actually run the transform map. So first I have actually loaded this Excel sheet, whatever that customer has given. I have submitted this one. So after submission, right? After submission, here you guys can see. Here you guys can see loaded data. See on the temporary problem table, all the details from the Excel sheets are imported here. So let me open one record here. See all these details like problem number, assignment group, problem statement, configuration item. So all these are actually from the Excel sheet. Okay, all the details are stored in this temporary table. Is it clear for you guys?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So first I have actually stored the data in the temporary table. From the temporary table, I have to run the transform map. Okay. So here what am I doing is I'm actually creating a transform map. So transform map between this temporary table and target table as problem table. So I have to import the data into problem table, right? That is what my motto, right? So first I'm actually importing the data into the staging table. From the staging table to target table, I'm actually transforming the data. Okay. So here problem data load. Okay. So here, right, if you want to run the business rules on the problem table, so there are business rules on the problem table, right? While loading the data, the business rule should run means you will actually select this checkbox. Okay. You guys are clear or not?
Yes, Uday.
So there are business rules on the problem table, right? If those business rules should run means you will select this checkbox. There are some mandatory fields on the target table, right? If those mandatory fields are filled in, only then you are actually allowing them to create a record means only mapped fields or all fields you will select. Okay. If there are any mandatory field on the target table and the mandatory field is not being filled, then you want to enforce it. Then you will select only mapped field or all fields. So usually select only mapped fields. Okay. So these copy empty fields and copy new record on empty query list fields and all we will actually discuss. I am creating a transform map, guys. So in the transform map, right, you guys can see there are two things here: auto map matching fields and mapping assist. See, we have temporary table, right? We have temporary table, right? So from the temporary table, from the temporary table, from the temporary table, what you do is you will actually map these field with the target table field, guys. Okay, you will actually map the field with the this table temporary table field with the target table field. So that mapping under I will actually explain, guys. Yeah, sorry guys. So I have to do the mapping between this temporary table field and this target table field. Okay, that field mapping and all, what I do is I will actually go to the transform map. So I can do auto map matching fields. So what does auto map matching fields does is that if whatever the data that is actually, let me just go to the downloads. See, if this field name is actually matching with the, if this field name is actually matching with the target table field name, okay. If the if the column name is actually matching with the target table column name, the field mapping will automatically happen, guys. See here, the field mapping assignment group is automatically matching with the assignment group here. So the mapping will happen automatically. So auto map matching fields. So both are matched, right? The Excel sheet names and target table field names both are matched, right? So then the auto mapping has happened automatically. So here we will have to talk about coalesce. Okay, coalesce. So this coalesce will actually avoid the duplicacy, guys. This coalesce will avoid the duplicacy. What do you mean by duplicacy? You guys can ask me. Okay. Now I will tell you. So here, right, whenever you are actually loading this data into a problem table, if the data is already there in the ServiceNow platform, whatever the data that you are actually passing, right, if this number is already there in the ServiceNow platform, this record has to be updated. If this number is not there in the ServiceNow platform, this record has to be created. So that is actually avoiding duplicacy. So let us say if this number is already there in the ServiceNow platform, with this number, if there is a already record in the ServiceNow platform, this record has to be updated. If this number is not there in the ServiceNow platform already, this record will be created. Hope you guys are able to understand.
Yes, Uday.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Uday.
So now, right, I am actually making the number as coalesce. So I am making the number as coalesce. So remember one thing, we can make multiple field as coalesce, but remember one point before we making multiple fields as coalesce. So this number has to be matched. Let us say if you have kept a short description also, true. So if these two values are matched, only then record will be updated. Number and short description both are matched, only then the record will be updated. So if one is matched, one is not matched, then record will be created. So for the time being, I'm actually keeping only one coalesce. So remember guys, we can keep multiple coalesce. We can keep multiple coalesce. So if you keep multiple coalesce, all the fields should be matched. If any one of the field is not matched, record will be created. Okay. So what am I doing is I am actually making the number as coalesce. What if I make number as coalesce is that, so while running the transform map, it will check if the number that is actually loading into the ServiceNow platform is already there or not. If the number is already there, this record will be updated. If the number is not there, if the number is there, if the record will be updated. If the number is there, record will be created. So now all these records are not there in the ServiceNow platform, right? These 20 records are not there in the ServiceNow platform, right? Do you guys agree or not?
Yes, Uday. We
Yes,
deleted.
These 20 records are not there because we deleted those 20 records. Once we done after the download, we deleted those records if you guys remember. So now what I have done, I have actually created a transform map. I have kept a number as coalesce true. So now I will show you. I am going to load the data again. So we have already temporary table, right? Temporary problem. I am going to load the sheet here. I'm submitting this one. Okay. I am running the transform map, guys. So after loading that, I am running the transform map. If you guys have seen one thing, this is the transform map that I have actually created. Okay. I am just transforming it. See, now I am going to the problem table. So far 18 records are there, right? So those 20 records would have been created here. Only 5 records created. Huh? What has happened? Why 25 records are there? What happened to rest of the records? So I am going to the transform history. This is the place where I will actually check what exactly has happened to the transformation. So here complete with errors. I see complete with errors. What is the error? Assignment group fields mandatory field. Assignment group is mandatory field. Data policy exception. So you guys are able to understand, right? Data. So I have actually selected in the transform map. I have actually selected in the transform map as mandatory, enforce mandatory. I would have selected no here. Okay. So on the target table, there is a data policy as well. That is also violating record transformation. So I am going to delete configure data policies. See, for these kind of things, right, I have to make all the fields false, right? So here what you do is you will actually update selected. You will select all and you will just click on update selected. Active, false, you will just click on update. So at a time you can actually update all the records as false. See, I have updated all the records as false. Now in the transform history, why the transformation is ignored, we are able to see data policy, assignment group is mandatory field. These are the reasons the records are not inserted, guys. Okay. Now on the problem table, which are actually created today, I will actually open and delete them. Okay, now I will actually load the data, guys. I will actually load the data again. So I am going to load data. In the load data, I am actually importing the data again. I am running the transform map. Transform. So once the transform is complete, transform map is completed, the data will be transferred from the staging table to target table. Here I am supposed to see 38 records now. See, 38 records are there or not? Huh? Guys, 38 records are there or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, fine guys. So these records are already there in ServiceNow platform now. These records I have actually imported in, and those records are actually imported in ServiceNow platform, right? So here, right, I am actually changing the problem statement as something here. Uday updating. Okay. Uday updating here. So I've just saved this one. So now, as these records are already in ServiceNow platform, the problem statement field will be updated. So let me just take these records, as these records are already there in the platform, right? Number is one of the problem statement for this is this one. Now I am going to load the data again here. Okay. So I have actually loaded the data. So as I have loaded the data, now if I refresh these records, the problem statement details got updated as Uday updating. See what is the details that I have kept here. The same thing you are able to see it here. So guys, the coalesce will actually identify whether the record is there in the platform or not. If the record is there in the platform, ServiceNow platform already, the record will be updated. If the record number is not already there, a new record will be created. Okay. Hope you guys are clear.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
Yes, Uday. Yeah.
Everyone. Hello.
Yes, Uday.
Okay. So here, right, we have transform map. Where is the transform map? Yeah. So in the transform map, we have transform scripts here. We have transform scripts here. So these transform scripts are majorly for validations. So there are actually 7 types of transform scripts. Okay. So I will actually explain these transform scripts in tomorrow's session, but I will give you the brief introduction about the transform scripts, how they work. Okay. Before we move on to that, I will have to discuss about these two things as well. Okay. See here, here in the problem statement, this field is not empty. Okay. This field is not empty. So here, right, I am going to make this as empty. I am going to make this as empty. If you make this as empty, right, this empty field will not be copied. This empty field will not be copied. So if you want to copy the empty field, you will have to use copy empty field. Okay. So now without checking this checkbox, I will actually load the data. Whether the empty field will be copied or not, we will see. Did I save it or not? Okay. So here, right, you can just take a look at the problems, whether the empty fields are copied or not. It is not copied. So now I am going to check this checkbox, copy empty fields. Okay. I am going to load data. Okay. So now you guys can see the fields will be now empty. See, the problem statement fields are empty. So here there is one more point. What if the coalesce field itself is empty? Let us say in the coalesce field, if you are actually passing it as empty, system will not be able to identify the empty records, right? So if the coalesce is empty, if the coalesce field is empty, if you want to create a new record, then you will select this checkbox. You will select this checkbox when you when the coalesce field is actually empty. When you check this checkbox, it will actually create a new record. Hope you are able to understand,
Yes.
guys.
Yes, Uday.
So likewise, the transform maps will work, guys. Likewise, the transform maps will work. So first, next we will be able to understand transform scripts. We will be able to understand transform scripts. For that, I am actually opening an Excel sheet here. In this Excel sheet, right? So guys, there are actually 7 types of transform scripts. On start, on complete, on before, on after, on choice create, on foreign insert, on reject. So there are actually 7 type of transform scripts: on start, on complete, on before, on after, on choice create, on foreign insert, on reject. Okay, so there are actually 7 type of transform scripts, guys. I will show you that. So in the transform scripts, if you click on new here, see here, on start, on before, on choice create, on complete, on foreign insert, on reject, on start. Okay, so here, right, here you guys will have to understand 2 things. One is on start and on complete will run only one time. On start, on complete will run only one time. On start will run before the transform map begins. So once the transform map begins, the on start will run only one time. On complete will run at the end of the transform map. Okay, so on start will run only one time. On complete will run only one time. On start will run in the beginning of the transform map. On complete will run in the beginning of in the end of the transform map. Okay. So on before will run before each row transformation. So let us say how many rows are here. How many rows are here? We have number. How many rows? Almost 13 to 4, 13, 7, 21. So almost 14 rows are there. Okay. So this before transform script will run 14 times. Okay. Before transform map will run 14 times. Before the row transformation, this on before transform script will run. On after will also run 14 times. After each row transformation, on after transform script will run. Okay. So understand one thing, guys. On start will run only one time. On complete will run only one time. On before will run before each row transformation. On after will run after each row transformation. Okay. Sorry, guys. Consider this as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. So before first row transformation, the on before will run. Before second row transformation, on before will run. Likewise, on before will run 14 times here. On after will run after row transformation, on after will run. So now we will talk about this on choice create, on foreign insert, on reject. So these are a bit complex to understand, guys, but still I will actually explain you guys. I'll try to keep it in a layman language. Here, right? In the let me just open any problem record here. Here in the problem record we have category, we have drop down fields, we have reference fields, right? We have drop down fields, reference fields. So here, right, in the Excel sheet, we are actually passing state. State is drop down. We are actually passing assignment group. Assign group is actually reference field. See, whatever the details that you are actually passing. So here I am actually passing Uday. Uday. Okay. Here I am actually passing assignment group as UCS team. So this Uday state is not there. This UCS team group is not there in the ServiceNow platform. Okay. So if these values are not there in the ServiceNow platform, if you want to create those records in the ServiceNow platform, means what you will do is you will go to the transform map. You will go to the transform map. What you do is you will actually open the field mappings. So one is state, one is assignment group. So from the Excel sheet, you are actually passing the values, right? Uday and UCS team. So Uday state is not there in the state. Where is the state here? So state is actually read only. So in the state there is no Uday choice, but here you are actually passing as choice as Uday. So here UCS team is actually not there in the groups, but you are passing here. So if these records are not there in the ServiceNow platform, you want to create a record, means you will select the choice action as create. So if the record is not there in the target table, if you want to ignore the field mapping, you will actually ignore it. Okay. So first I am selecting create here. Create is already there. Now I am going to load the data. I am going to load the data here. Okay. Now you guys can see here. For which record? What exactly has happened? We did make change here, right? Okay. You're right. State is set as root cause analysis. Assignment group. What is happening here? So we will check the transform history, what is going on here. Completed with errors. What is the error? Unable to resolve the target record, coil is. So invalid state transition cannot update from the state root cause analysis to Uday with the given values. So there is some error, guys. There is a validation in the back end. So that is the reason it is actually not allowing me to update the value as Uday. Okay. So what we will actually give a try with the we will not modify this state. We will actually keep it as closed. I'm just changing assignment group alone. Load data. See, it is successfully imported. So guys, here if you go to the problem record, the assignment group will be changed, should be changed as UCS team. It is changed as UCS team. But UCS team group was not there. It has created a new group. It has created a new group. In the group table, it has created a new group. See, there is no member, no roles, no member, no group members, no roles, no manager, no group. So this is created just a while ago. So because here in the assignment group, if whatever the data that is coming from the source is not there in the target table, create it. Okay, is what we have actually selected. Choice action as create. So suppose if whatever the data that is actually coming into the ServiceNow platform from the source, if the data is not there in the ServiceNow, if you want to ignore the field mapping, you can actually ignore the field mapping. Understand my point? So consider I am actually deleting UCS team here. UCS team record I am actually deleting here. See, here I am actually again selecting application development. I'm selecting application development here. So here I am actually sending again UCS team here, guys. This time I am selecting twice action as ignore. So the field mapping will be ignored. If the record is not there in the target table, if the UCS team record is not there in the target table, the record will be ignored. Okay, so now I am going to load the data again. Okay, I am running the transform map. So now you guys can see now the problem is not updated here. The problem is not updated with UCS team because here we have actually selected in the assignment group as whatever the value that is coming from source to target table, right? If the value is not there in the target table, so you can actually ignore is what we have actually suggested here. What if you have selected rejected? So this time total row transformation will be rejected. Okay, this time total row transformation will be rejected. Uday Gadiparthi. So I have actually updated this record. I have actually selected UCS team. UCS team is not there in the ServiceNow platform. As this is not there in the ServiceNow platform, record transformation will be rejected. Total row transformation will be rejected, guys. Earlier when I selected ignore, right, only field mapping is ignored. This time total row transformation is rejected. I will show you that. So as per the requirement, so as this is an existing record, this problem statement should be updated. But it won't update because this record, this UCS team is not there in the ServiceNow platform. As this is not there in the ServiceNow platform, you have selected here as row transformation rejection here. That is why the update will not be happen. See, completed. We will see whether the short description is updated or not. See, short description is not updated because row transformation is ignored. Row transformation is rejected, guys. So that is about the choice action. Choice actions, are you guys clear? Guys, choice actions, are you guys clear?
Yes, Uday.
Okay, guys. So guys, we will actually discuss the transform scripts in detail in tomorrow session, okay? Guys, everyone?
Yes,
Okay,
Uday.
Uday.
Thank you. Thank you.
Okay, thank you guys.